All right, listen up. The entire crypto market is on the verge of a massive shift, and it's all being driven by something most people have completely ignored: actual, real-world utility for massive corporations. And look, this isn't hype. If you don't grasp what's happening right now, you are going to be on the wrong side of a monumental wealth transfer as corporate titans move their operations on-chain. What you're about to see is the literal playbook for how the new digital economy is being constructed, not by some startup in a garage, but by the biggest companies on the planet. This is it. This is the news we've been waiting for. FedEx, the absolute giant of global logistics, has officially joined the Hedera Governing Council. And this isn't just some fluffy press release. It is a declaration of intent from one of the most important companies in the world. So let's break this down. Let's get into exactly why this is the catalyst, the spark, that the entire market has been waiting for. Because this is not just another partnership. This is a foundational pillar being set in place. To really get the scale of this, you have to understand this number: 16 million. That's how many packages FedEx moves every single day. And that doesn't even count the 500 million tracking requests they get on top of that. This isn't some small pilot program. It's an industrial-strength data fire hose. And it demands a network that was built for exactly this kind of pressure. Let me be crystal clear. FedEx is not experimenting with DLT. No way. They are actively engineering the digital backbone for the future of logistics right now. What they're doing is building a system to verify every shipment across every border and obliterate the friction that costs the industry billions. This is about creating a single, trusted, verifiable ledger for all of global commerce. But see, that brings us to the fundamental problem, the giant wall that every enterprise hits when they look at this space. The absolutely insane cost of trying to operate at scale on pretty much any other distributed ledger out there. And here's the twist that changes the entire game. The math is so simple, it makes the decision for these companies a no-brainer. If FedEx tried to track all 16 million of their daily shipments by minting a new NFT for every single package, which is a model people talk about on other chains, it would cost them a mind-blowing $122 million a year. But on Hedera, using their consensus service, that same job costs just $4.6 million. That's not a discount. That makes Hedera the only choice that makes any economic sense at this scale. Now, that kind of jaw-dropping economic advantage is exactly the kind of signal that U.S. giants wait for before they jump in. And for our viewers in the U.S., we've set something special up. If you want to get ahead of the curve, text INSIDER to 555-0199. You'll get exclusive alerts when the next giant makes its move. So, how is this even possible? Right, so how in the world is that massive cost difference possible? Well, it all comes down to Hedera's completely different design, an architecture built from day one for enterprise-level trust. It's all about their hybrid model. And here's the genius part. All the sensitive stuff, customer information, signatures, private details, it never ever touches the public network. It stays off-chain, safe in their private systems. The only thing that goes on-chain are the proofs, the cryptographic hashes, the timestamps, the verifiable order of events. This gives these massive companies the best of both worlds: total privacy and absolute verifiability. So what this does is it turns Hedera into what's called a shared notary layer. Think of it like a universal, decentralized source of truth. It gives everyone a trusted, unchangeable, time-stamped record that can be used to settle disputes or for audits, all without ever showing the private data itself. This is precisely what enterprises have been looking for. And who's running the show? Who's overseeing this network? It's not some anonymous group of developers. It's a governing council of the titans of industry themselves. You've got FedEx, Google, IBM, Dell, global leaders who ensure stability, reliability, and a predictable future. This is the kind of governance a Fortune 500 CEO can actually trust. So, with a council that powerful, it really makes you wonder, who's next? I want to know what you think. Drop a comment below with the council member you believe is going to make the next huge announcement. I've got my own ideas, but let's hash it out in the community tab later today. Because you have to understand, FedEx is not a one-off event. This is just one piece of a much bigger, faster-moving trend, the complete enterprise takeover of digital assets. And this is all happening fast. I mean, look at the case of BC Carbon, who picked Hedera over Solana for their registry. The reason why they did it is critical to understanding the enormous ESG market. But real quick, a message from Crypto Global News. If you are watching this without being subscribed, you are missing the real-time alerts on these huge moves. This isn't a game. Click subscribe right now and stay on the timeline. Okay, so BC Carbon. They needed to build a carbon registry on a foundation of digital audit trails and institutional trust. They looked at everyone, including Ethereum and Solana, and they chose Hedera. Why? It's simple. The others just didn't have the specific enterprise focus, and this is the key, the governance model that institutions absolutely require to operate in regulated markets like carbon credits. And when you look at the raw numbers, it's just undeniable. Hedera can handle over 10,000 transactions per second. That's not some theoretical number on a white paper. That's the real-world throughput you need to run global applications without hitting a wall. And those transactions, they're finalized, guaranteed in just 2.9 seconds. For things like a supply chain or a payment system, that kind of speed is the difference between a system that works and one that completely fails. And then this. In today's world, where every bit of energy use is under a microscope, this is the final knockout blow. The energy cost per transaction is a tiny fraction of a kilowatt hour. For any company serious about their ESG goals, this isn't just a nice feature, it's an absolute must-have. It makes Hedera the greenest and, frankly, the best choice out there. Okay, so let's tie all of this together. Let's talk about the smart money thesis, where the serious capital is flowing and why. Here's the bottom line, the most important thing you need to understand. The smart money is buying real utility, not speculative hype. While everyone else is chasing meme coins, the institutions are quietly buying up the infrastructure. They are acquiring the networks that solve billion-dollar problems, the ones with superior tech, bulletproof governance, and real, tangible partnerships. If you want these kinds of updates the second they break, you absolutely have to be in my Telegram channel. Use the QR code on the screen or the link in the description. That's where you get this information first before the rest of the market has time to react. And this is the promise. This is what you need to take away from all this. It's so much bigger than just logistics. We're talking about a verifiable AI with potential council members like NVIDIA, digital identity, the core infrastructure for central bank digital currencies. Hedera isn't just some crypto project. It is quietly, methodically building the foundational plumbing for the entire next-generation economy. Which leaves us with one final massive question. FedEx was the tipping point for logistics. They cracked the code. But which industry is next? Finance? Healthcare? Energy? And which council member is already perfectly positioned to lead that charge? I know the answer, and I'm breaking it all down in the next explainer, which you can see on your screen right here. Click it, subscribe, and stay on the timeline.
Stay ahead in the crypto market. Subscribe now for the latest global news and updates.